The planet hung in the void like a specter, its surface a twisted lattice of black rock and jagged metal. The only sound was the creaking of twisted wreckage, a haunting melody that echoed across the barren landscape. The sky above was a sickly shade of yellow, like a diseased sun that clung to life by a thread. I stepped out of my ship and onto the planet's surface, the gravity pulling me down with a force that felt almost malevolent. Every step I took sent shockwaves through the ground, as if the very planet itself was warning me to turn back. But I had to know what was out here, what was calling to me from the depths of this desolate place. As I walked, the silence began to get to me. It was as if the planet itself was watching me, waiting for me to make a wrong move. I could feel eyes upon me, boring into my skin like cold, dead stars. The emergency beacon grew louder, its signal piercing the stillness like a scream. I followed it, my heart pounding in my chest, until I came to a massive structure that loomed over the landscape like a monolith. It was some kind of research facility, its walls covered in rust and decay. The entrance was a massive airlock, the doors hanging open like the jaws of a predator. I stepped inside, my suit lights illuminating the dark interior. The air was thick with the smell of decay and rot, and I could hear the sound of dripping water echoing off the walls. The emergency beacon was coming from deeper in the facility, and I followed its signal until I came to a large control room. The room was filled with consoles and screens, all of them dark and unresponsive. But in the center of the room, a single console was still active, its screen flashing with a message that made my blood run cold. Containment breach imminent. Evacuate immediately. I felt a chill run down my spine as I read the message. What had happened here? What kind of containment breach could be so catastrophic that it required immediate evacuation? I scanned the room, looking for any clues, but there was nothing. Just the steady beep of the emergency beacon, and the ominous warning on the screen. I knew I had to get out of there, but my curiosity kept me rooted to the spot. What was I walking into? What horrors lay in wait for me on this dead planet? I forced myself to move, to keep searching for answers. I left the control room and made my way deeper into the facility, the emergency beacon growing louder with every step. I found myself in a long, narrow corridor, the walls lined with doors that led to individual labs and research rooms. Each door I opened revealed a new horror, a new atrocity that had been committed in the name of science. I saw evidence of twisted experiments, of creatures that defied explanation. And with each new discovery, I felt myself getting closer to the truth. But the further I went, the more I realized that I was not alone. I could feel eyes upon me, watching me from the shadows. I heard the sound of footsteps, of movement, and I knew that I was being stalked. The emergency beacon was still calling to me, but now it seemed like a trap, a lure to draw me deeper into the heart of the facility. I moved quickly, my heart pounding in my chest, as I tried to find the source of the signal. But with every step, I felt myself getting closer to my own doom. I finally found the source of the emergency beacon, a small room deep in the heart of the facility. Inside, I found a single console, its screen flashing with a message that made my blood run cold. Project Erebus terminated. Containment breach imminent. I knew then that I had to get out, to escape the facility before it was too late. But as I turned to leave, I saw something that made my heart stop. A figure, standing in the shadows, watching me. Waiting for me. I tried to run, but my feet felt heavy, as if rooted to the spot. The figure began to move towards me, its presence filling the room with an unspeakable horror. I knew then that I was doomed, that I would never escape the dead planet and its sinister secrets. The emergency beacon fell silent, its signal lost in the void. And I was left alone, to face the darkness that had been waiting for me all along. The last thing I saw was the figure, its face twisted into a grotesque grin, before everything went black.